Hello everyone and welcome to Group 1's group project. Group 1 consists of myself, Sean Peck, Chaina Beebe, Scott Boom, and Danelle LaRose. Key points about our model is its unending cyclical approach to learning. It focuses on the learner's needs and past experiences. It builds on previous knowledge as well as allows for the application of new knowledge. It encourages blended learning, and feedback and learning evaluation are key. Our experimental learning model comprises of 9 specific points, and you can look at the graphic representation in front of you where we have groups 1 through 3 as assessment of learning, and then we have course planning, knowledge transfer, practical application, personal reflection, and then we have instructor evaluation. And if you notice, it continually goes back up to assessment of learning because our learning model does not end. Step 1 of our process is we're going to assess what the person already knows, the student already knows, whether this be through a pre-test or a needs assessment. We're going to identify those issues to build upon. And the pros of this are obviously it reduces wasted time talking about topics that the student's already familiar with. It identifies the knowledge gap if one exists, as well as focus on the training needs that person actually requires. It's like specialized training, if you will. The cons are it can be very time consuming, and it's not the most ideal situation for large informal groups. And it's not ideal for rapid turnaround. And we use the example of say and pray style teaching. The next step is step 2, the assessment of the learning style, where we're going to learn how that learner prefers to learn, because as we all know, as adult educators, all adults learn a different way. The pros of this is it focuses on content rather than translating material, and obviously that's important. Reduce stress on the learner. Obviously there's a lot of anxiety for adults going back to school, and it increases the likelihood of knowledge retention. The cons, it can be difficult to address multiple different learning styles simultaneously and can lengthen the course depending on the material present. Obviously our goal is to accommodate as many people as possible. And next we want to assess why the learner is interested in taking this course. The pros of this are the facilitator can morph the content in a manner that appeals to the group, custom training if you will, and it motivates learners, make better students. Also, it identifies the potential problem students, the students that are, well, if you to use example, there for the wrong reason. The cons of this approach is it may not always be applicable, and adds time to the beginning of the course, and it's differing motivations could lead to awkwardness amongst the learners. We want to keep everyone in their comfort zone and make it a more harmonious environment, if you will. Our next step is course planning, and this is obviously very important no matter how experienced the educator is. But this allows the facilitator to assess the learners and evaluate how best to present the course. Again, we talked about how everyone learns a little different, and sometimes we need to offer a customized course to suit our population. The pros of this are it allows the facilitator to digest learner feedback, and it enables the facilitator to plan teaching method that will be most effective. Again, you almost have to look at this like a business. We're providing a service. For a lot of us, we get paid for the service, so obviously we need to bring our A game, if you know what I mean. The cons of this obviously time becomes an issue, and junior facilitators will need additional help with student evaluations. Next we have step 5, which is demonstrate the new skill to the learner. Obviously with this we have pros and cons as well. The pros of this is it's vital to the success of new knowledge. It provides for accurate first-hand assessment of the new knowledge, and it allows the facilitator to provide feedback and motivate the use of this new information that the students are getting. And one of the good things here is it allows us to gauge how we're doing as instructors. We're allowed to rather see if we're actually adequately propagating this information or appropriately presenting this material. And the cons to this is the learner may be apprehensive about using this new learning. They may not feel confident in their abilities. And the facilitator may realize that they have inadequately presented the material. Step 6 in our process is we provide a link back to previous knowledge. We connect new knowledge with the learner's existing knowledge. So we're building, basically. We took that foundation and we're adding to it. The pros are it ensures a high rate of retention and understanding. It reduces stress over new learning, new material, because it's not completely foreign to the person, and it's proven effective time and again. The cons are it can be very time consuming, especially with the varied backgrounds of our students, and it's not always guaranteed to stick with the learner. And next we have step 7, which is the application of new knowledge. The students are able to take that new theory or application or skill and apply that to the real world. The pros are it increases retention of new knowledge, allows the learner to assess how best to apply this new knowledge, and allows us to identify any knowledge gaps. The cons, it just doesn't work in every situation. There's no some topics do not have a practical application and can be very time consuming. Our next step is step 8, personal reflection. And this allows learners to assess how well they did in the exercise, as well as be able to realize how much they've learned from the course. The pros of this allows learners to digest the new material, and allows the self-reflection, if you will, allows the learners to assess their own performance. Cons is obviously time is always an issue, and learners may be unaware of the deficiencies. And our final step, well, not really the final because it's cyclic and continues to go around, is the instructor evaluation. And this allows the course facilitator to provide feedback to the learner. The pros of this is it reinforces the material, provides motivation to the learners, and allows the deficiencies that may have been overlooked by the learners to be highlighted. The cons is time is an issue, and the facilitator may have missed these deficiencies. So in conclusion, we feel that our model can be applied in many fields and through a wide array of topics. We want to point out that we feel that this is the framework of education and that it is to be used as a guide, not a rule. Obviously, you can add or take away from this model as the educator sees fit. It allows and it provides for real-world application of knowledge, and it gives the student the ability to transfer the knowledge into other areas of their learning and lives. We hope you've enjoyed our presentation, and we welcome your comments. Have a great week.